This is Lemmy with RevZilla. As you may have guessed, I'm out of the office once again. I'm spending a little bit of time on the newest edition of the BMW Heritage line of bikes, and that is the R NineT Racer. You can see here underneath me. This bike is a bucket of fun, and I got to spend some time on this. I spent a little bit of time on the R NineT Pure as well, and you guys may remember too, if you rewind back to October, Spurgeon also shook out an R NineT Scrambler. We did a full review on that, had one of those at HQ for a while. I had a chance to ride that back then. And it's funny, in riding so many different models within this family, I'm starting to realize there's a lot of commonalities here, and there's also a lot of differences between the models too. So commonality-wise, I think every single one of these obviously shares the same engine, and we should probably talk about that for a minute. This is the older air and oil-cooled Boxer, an engine with just a ton of personality, 110 horsepower, plenty of zip, plenty of pep, a lot of fun to ride, a really flexible engine. It shakes, it quakes, it shaft jacks, at the idle, and when you're getting into a corner, it kind of rotates around the crankshaft a little bit. The sound is absolutely unmistakable. Nobody's ever going to mistake this bike for anything else, just with the noise it makes. One of the other things that's common to some of the bikes, but not all of them, is the brake setup. So the original R NineT has those, those very sexy monoblock Brembos on there, and I know when I wrote about this bike's existence for EICMA, a lot of people were very concerned because these brakes got quote-unquote down-specced. Look, these are still really good brakes. They're Brembo 4-pot axial mount caliber, still dual disc, stainless braided lines. The feel is phenomenal on these things. So if you're considering one of these bikes and you're worried that you're not going to get enough brake if you don't go to the top of the line R NineT, the flagship in the line, don't be. These brakes are plenty great. I think Spurgeon and I came to the same conclusion about that. There's plenty of brake on this motorcycle. So moving on from there, one of the things that I think we also agreed on too was the handling on the Scrambler was really slow. So that actually would be a difference between the models because the Pure and the Racer aren't slow handling bikes at all. Spurgeon and I both thought that front end was kind of lazy. It could have been the slowest handling factory bike I've ever ridden. And obviously those off-road tires, the Caroos, those don't really help matters. And fortunately the Racer and the Pure, totally different. I like a pretty quick handling front end, and these bikes definitely deliver that in spades. It was kind of a nice surprise to find that the bike was going to handle a lot quicker. That was really cool. I think a lot of that too is those 17-inch wheels. I'm a big fan of the cast wheels they put up there. I love 17-inch rubber because there's just so many different options out there. So that was a welcome change on these two models as far as, difference from the Scrambler that we'd already ridden. So that leads me, I guess, too, into one of the other big differences too. It's going to sound really silly, but even though the Pure and the Racer look very similar, the riding position on them is entirely different. And I guess I knew that a little bit seeing there were clip-ons on the Racer, you can see here, but I'm really pitched over on this bike. I'm just short of a full race tuck. It's cool, I feel fast, I'm able to ride the bike really quickly. But this is definitely not a machine built for comfort. If you're looking for long mileage, the Racer might not be the way to go. Now contrast this with yesterday. I spent some time in the Pure, very upright. It's your classic standard riding position. I'm a big fan of that. I know there's lots of other people in the world who really like that riding position, and you definitely get it on the Pure. So I guess what I would say is if you're interested in shopping one of these bikes, I would say get on both of them. Despite the fact that you might enjoy the look of one bike more than the other, they are very similar. It's easy enough to duplicate the look, but boy, the riding position really is different on here. And it's kind of surprising how BMW was able to get such similar bikes to feel so different. So I thought that was kind of nifty. Now, I had some more thoughts on this bike, as well as some of the other members of the Heritage lineup. You can check them out on my Common Tread article. If you guys have watched our reviews before, look, you know the deal. I got more daylight. I got somebody else's bike. I'm Lemmy. I'm out of here.